Hello. Hi, Internet. Today we're going to be talking about. Today we're going to be talking about what went wrong. I was the okay. What the heck? Um, Today we're going to be talking about um the reason why I was the problem in my last relationship. Slash like being the problem, but also like not being the problem. But you know. We're gonna be talking about what I've learned from. Okay, we're gonna mainly focus on me because it's my problems, and we're just gonna talk about some things that I did that was probably no go, but so go. But I'm gonna talk about this so you can learn entering into your next relationship, because some of these things that I did wasn't necessarily things that I was very educated on, right? So you go into a relationship, and you're just like, yeah, like, but then, as the years progress, you're like, you start to notice, well, you don't even really notice until you get out the relationship, but you start to, I know I'm not getting to the point I'm about to get to it, I know it's a minute, I know I'm gonna get to the point, but, you just, you don't really understand it until you're out of the relationship. And when you're in it, you just know you're hitting this wall and you're like, why isn't it working? So today I'm going to tell you why those things ain't working. So that when you do go into your next one, you're probably like, oh, okay, I know what to do now. Okay? Okay, the first one is emotional intelligence. This is the thing that I didn't know that I didn't have until getting out of the relationship, and I actually have to do some research on it. And you're like, but yeah, you're like, oh dang, like, no, seriously, and like it costs, like it can cost not only your mental health but the person in the relationship mental health. So emotional intelligence is basically like emotionally, how are you able to um disagree, agree? How are you able to go about a conversations emotionally? Um, Combat them. How are you able to understand them, understand the other person's point of view? There was a video that I watched, and it was like, and then I'm not smiling because like, oh, like, yeah, I did that. No, I'm smiling because like it's sad that like I didn't know these things, and I'm actually very, 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 very. I was very, very, very hard on myself, um, for going through these things and not understanding these things. Um, so yeah, but I would definitely say, like, cause we like sometimes me and this person would get into like arguments and stuff, and that was like one of the first thing. Like, I don't think you should ever be getting into arguments with your partner, your lover, right? Um, y'all should have conversations, right? And if it's getting into an argument, y'all both got to step out for like 30 seconds so that y'all can both calm down and get back to a conversation. Um, There's conversations, people are heard. Arguments, people are not heard. Um, but anyways, like, I forgot even what I was talking about now. But yeah, like we would have like arguments and stuff, and uh, like let's just say, for instance, a person would say, um, I felt not heard within this relationship. Like every time I talk, like you're just talking over me. And then the other person in the relationship's like, well, I felt unheard too. Like, then that's, I'm not gonna lie. Now that I think about it, that stuff pisses me off because like I'm trying to tell you how I feel, but you combat it with like how you felt in the past. And like, don't get me wrong, like all that stuff, yes, should be heard, but you're internalizing it and not hearing it, right? That's another thing I did. I internalized a lot. But I'm not trying to not trying to but I'm trying to say, the reason why that happened a lot is because of my past, right? The way I grew up, everything was internalized. Um, if anybody said anything about me, I internalized. Anybody did anything like that, I'm still struggling with people and having things that people say internalize me and make me feel some type of way. But those are things that ultimately you just have to, it's either you want to be better or you don't, right? um but yeah, uh we would have conversations and I would be the person who would say something like, well, I know, and those are things that, like, you say it when you first felt it, right? If you feel that type of way about something and you wait until that person says it themselves, then, like, it's like you should have just said it when you felt it the first time. um and yeah, I'm sorry, I'm bad, I have a terrible memory. But yeah, like, you should have said that the very first time, so that way this conversation would have never happened. If you're in a relationship with two emotionally responsible individuals, you saying something, you should never be scared to say something to your partner. I'm not gonna lie. One of the things my grandma always said, you should never be scared to ask your mama for anything. You should never be scared to say something to your mom. You should never be scared to say something to your partner. If you feel some type of way about something, you should be able to say it. And you should be able to almost say it as many times as you need to. Like, if they're still not getting it, and, like, you know, 3 strikes, you're out, buddy. But you know what I'm trying to mean. And I was the one that got out. I was 3 strikes. But you get what I'm trying to say, right? I didn't listen, and that's, honestly, in a way, I I would have never listened if that person never broke up with me. I would have never understood what needed to be worked on within myself if that person didn't do what they did, right? The next thing is kind of back into the internalizing things. I would, when, like, we would have arguments and stuff, I would, a lot of the time, um get quiet and, like, close off, like, but, like, bad close off. Like, I would, like, completely, like, just not talk to anybody. And I, don't get me wrong, I still do that sometimes, not to the extent of, like, what that happened. um but I'll still, like, reserve myself. But right now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to communicate that I need space better, right? Because I can't help the feeling of me feeling like I need to, like, take a break from something, not take a break from the relationship, but take a break from um my mind processing, my thoughts, because Christy has a very complex mind. My mind is very complex. It's something here, something. I don't know if I'm diagnosed with anything. I low-key want to get tested for something, like something within my brain, because I know that there's something definitely different than, like, a lot of other people and, like, how their brain processes. But um, like, I tend to think the worst a lot in situations, and again, like, it's something that I grew up with, so it's very, um to see those thoughts and be like, Chrissy, that's not you, right? Now I'm way better at doing that. um but that's how it used to be. And now I communicate way better. Like, okay, I'm gonna be honest, like, I need a few seconds to think, or, like, I just, I'll take a small little break, and I'm like, this is how I feel, can you help me? This is blah blah blah. But I don't know. I would honestly have to ask people to make sure, like, I still do that, because I'm very, very, very reserved. Like, I literally just went through, like, a little mental health thing recently, and I'm still processing it and still going through it. But you definitely need to. Sorry, there's people going in now and confuse me. But yeah, like, I definitely would, within that relationship, I would literally um close off, and that's not good. That's not good. Like, at least let people know, hey, I need some time. At least let people know this. Um, yeah, this video is getting quite long. So, if y'all want to know more about some stuff that I've messed up within the past, that within your future relationship, you could do better. Let me know.